Right, just checking if you're live. 50 students so far. Right, so hi everyone, this is Prasad from Let's Upgrade, and very good evening to everyone who's joining us on Zoom and all those who are also watching this on YouTube parallelly. So if you guys are currently on YouTube and want to talk to us, so since we are on Zoom, just join using the Zoom link mentioned in the chat and comment, description, and just come to Zoom. There we have a lot of students, around 50 right now, and still joining. So you can just talk and have answers to your queries and all that stuff, right? So what we are going to basically talk about today, I hope everyone is aware of the title, right? So just can anyone tell me what is the title? I just want to see that have you guys actually read the title before clicking, or have you just went and just enrolled for the session? So what is the topic for today, guys? What is the topic for today? If you guys are aware, I just need to see how many of you guys are actually aware what we are going to cover today. Anyone in the chat who can just let me know what is going to be the topic for today, which I'm here to speak about. Anyone in the chat, anyone in the Zoom, all the 50 people, are you guys already asleep? Just waiting for someone to tell, or the crowd on YouTube. Let me just see who is on YouTube. Utpal, just join using the Zoom link. Just join using the Zoom link. Rio, everyone on the YouTube, please come to Zoom. The link is pinned in the chat and also in the description. Just come to Zoom. Okay, so there we are actually talking to students and everything, right? Yes, the topic for today is basically awesome projects you should add to your portfolio, or basically, in other words, we are going to see what your portfolio actually means and what all things you should actually go and include and what you should not do. And is your portfolio actually the same as your resume or your CV or your LinkedIn? How does it differ from other things? Should you actually have one? Is it compulsory? What all things to add, what types of project to add, how much to write, and all those stuff, right? So let's start off. And yes, so this is Prasad from Let's Upgrade, and I welcome you all again to this session, okay, where we're going to learn about how to build your developer portfolio, right? So moving ahead, how you're going to take the session is you can put your questions in the chat when I ask you to, like, if you have any questions or so, because I won't be able to concentrate on your chat as when I'm speaking and moving the presentations, right? So any queries you might have regardless of whatever, you can see stream, whatever academics background you have, or you all are open to ask your questions. I'll try my best to give answers to your queries and help you. And you can say, basically, you can just suggest. I can't give you the final decisions. I can suggest what best according to our experience in this company, in the startup, or what, and in the teaching we have been doing over the years, what we can help you, right? So moving to the first point, what is a developer portfolio? Okay, this is very important to understand. Like, when you say, right, everyone says, boss, build your portfolio, or portfolio leke job mein jana chahiye. Just don't go with a resume, right? Because resume is now, you can say everyone has a resume or a CV, right? So how do you stand out from the crowd? And before even building a portfolio, you should understand that how does it actually differ from all of those, right? And in simple words, if you break down the word developer portfolio, right, developer basically itself explains that it is for the developers, right? And portfolio basically means, you can say, a collection, a single place where all your projects or your previous achievements or whatever you have built, right, whatever you have achieved, or have done or worked upon, is at one place. That's basically a portfolio, right? So now, how does it even, you can say, differ from your resume or all that stuff, right? So the basic definition of developer portfolio is a website that showcases the work that you have done as a developer, or data scientist, as an app developer, as a cloud developer, any domain, right? Currently we're just going to use the word developer, right? And it can also include a project that showcases your ability to code or to write a particular some database or anything for that matter, right? If you're going for database developer, your queries, how efficiently, right? We can just have some example, just you can say a rough idea I'm giving you, right? So the next thing is to understand is why you need a portfolio, right? As I mentioned in the first slide, is it actually different from your resume, right? You already have your resumes and LinkedIn, right? I hope all of you already have your LinkedIn accounts, and by now, after like your post COVID, everyone is doing certifications and all those stuff, right? So everyone has a LinkedIn account, and we keep on posting a lot of skills, a lot of achievements in here and there, right? So why do you actually need a portfolio? Okay, so now let's understand this one example, right? The second point on the right side, right? Standing out from the crowd. Let's suppose you are going for an, basically you are the HR. Okay, let's suppose, and this is where I'll require your answers, right? So please be attentive in the chat and give your answers very quickly. So suppose you are a HR and you're hiring for a software developer role, right? Now you have 10 candidates who have applied for that software developer role, and out of those, 3 candidates have a proper website where they showcase all of the projects they have worked upon, all their current skills and achievements or the previous past experience. And you can see that if, of course, you're looking for software developer, you can actually see, right, whatever they have built or how they actually build things. If they have built some app, so how do they build up? You can have a live demo. And there are 7 others who just have a resume or a plain, you can see CV, and just walked in, right? So which of those would be your first preference, right? Right, if you have to just hire, I say 2, if you have to just hire 2, which of those would you first interview? Will you interview the 3 candidates first with the portfolio, or are you going to, you can say, interview the 7 other candidates who have just walked beneath a piece of paper, right? So 3 or 7 is about the answer I'm looking for in the chat, and you can only hire 2 candidates. So who, like, which of this group are you going to interview first? So the 3 people or 7 people in the chat, guys? I'm looking for your answers in the chat, right? So everyone is mentioning 3, right? Anyone with the answer as 7? Right, see, this is right. So you already know that someone who can showcase their skills and who has a place where everything is written down is, I don't want to spend my time interviewing all the 10 people, right? I'll just go and talk to people who have already showcased their skills. They can show me what they can prove, basically what they've worked upon. They can show me their projects and everything in one single place, and I can see in a working condition, and I can trust that guy, right? And I can then ask the questions and take it forward, right? So it actually helps you stand out from the crowd. Yes, resumes and LinkedIn are okay, it doesn't matter, but according to my opinion, that this is my opinion, that portfolios can be a secret weapon. As I mentioned, right, if you just walk in, nobody knows you have a portfolio. Just give them that, yes, this is my developer portfolio, this is my resume, and just wait. I'll tell you, will be the first person to be called, right? Of course, depending, not others also, like others also don't have that portfolio kind of thing. It actually helps you out, you can say, be better than the current attendees or candidates for that interview. You get you can say, an edge over them, right? And as the interview proceeds, right, you will also be having a better chance of getting shortlisted rather than like from the other employees who are part of that interview, right? So now, coming to the question, is it actually important to have a portfolio or develop a portfolio always, right? Vinod, I'll come to your question in a bit, right, once I complete this. So is your portfolio actually important, right? So if you look towards your left, right, here where I've written some few points, your portfolio is important to land your first job, or you can say maybe a second job, but after that it is just your work on your projects, on your performance, on your skills you acquire. You can of course go and adding to your same portfolio, that is optional. But for the first or second good tech job, okay, this is something you have to understand. A good tech job portfolio does add a value. So if you can build, please have one, right? So now, coming to this question which Vinod asked, right, is CGP required or skills, right? See, I'll just give you one example, right? There, I know a lot of developers who don't belong to technical background. I know a lot of developers who did not score ranks in IIT. I know a lot of developers who did not have a good CGPA. Okay. So, and of course, I'm not saying bad about people who are intelligent and score ranks in IIT and all those stuff. Of course, they have their higher ability of skills and all those stuff, but you do not actually require compulsorily to have high ranks to get a good job. Okay, yes, it is, you can say, and you can say confirmation that yes, this guy has graduated, has some basic writing, communications, and all those skills, right? But your skills, your projects, and of course that all matters more. See, because if I just teach you coding, right, and if I even make you the best developer out there by just teaching you coding, be it in Java, Android, or anything, I can't still guarantee you that you will get a job, because just knowing coding isn't enough right now. Okay, so there are a lot of things, right? How you behave in a company, or how your communication skills are, how basically you compose your like body language and all the stuff. just having the knowledge also currently, right? Knowledge is just one part. I can say a major of the chunk is knowledge and your skills and everything, but there are a few complementary things which come along with it, which a candidate should have. Your communication skills, your soft skills, basically how you behave and all this, how you handle some situations, like tough situations, all that. So all those things are also checked when you go to a tech job. So that's there. And Jairam, I'll come to your question towards the end when we move on to the specific domains in tech, right? So moving on. Yes, so this is, as I mentioned, right? This is what I mentioned, that you don't need a CS degree. Okay, this is one of my favorite lines, which I always use in all my talks, that you don't need a computer science degree to get a technical job. Okay, I myself don't have a computer science degree. I am a plain BCom graduate. I have been a software developer. I work for a company, software developer. I am now the co-founder of this company, a tech company, right? So all you need is skills, the agility or the spark to code day and night and to build something of your own, or you can say just be innovative, keep hardworking, and that's it. And basically, if you write, see, it's basically, just to simplify it, a company pays you to do their job. Okay, they have a certain to do. Let's say they have 1 2 3 or 5 6 things, and if you can do that for them, they're going to pay you. It's as simple to be laid down, right? And if you can do that the best than the other people out there, then sure they're going to hire you. That is basically the hiring laid down in simple words. There are 10 people, and if you're the best of those 10 people, you are getting the job, right? So it's nothing complex. And yes, I'm saying in this world, right, in this currently the economy where you see a lot of firings going on, companies are also hiring like something, right? They're hiring like anything. But the thing is, they don't need just software developers, because those are plenty in the market. The market is now saturated with developers. So what they're looking for is a good developer. When I say a good developer, someone that stands out, someone that has some extra skills than the others. Like suppose I just spoke to one of the guys the other day, and he was just mentioning, I can apply to a front-end developer job. And I asked him as a counter question, boss, what all technologies do you actually know? And he just mentioned, I know HTML, I know CSS, I know JavaScript. So my question to you all is, all those from the web development domain, can you still get a job right now with just HTML, CSS, JavaScript? Can you still get a job right now in 2023 with just HTML, CSS, JavaScript? Right? So I see everyone answering no, 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 right? So that is what, right? The jobs are available, but people do not know how to look for them. People do not know what is the minimum requirement to qualify for a software developer, a front-end role, right? So if I have to add, right, then what is that is required to apply for a front-end role or to get a front-end job? It is basically like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Yes, that is the backbone of building website or to become a developer. Yes, DSA is there, but apart from DSA also, right, you should also know about React or any one framework. It can be React, Angular I won't say right now that much, but yes, Angular, Vue, React, or some CSS frameworks like Bulma, Tailwind, Bootstrap, right? That is a mandate, because without a framework, no company is going to hire you. Nobody does, you can say, that HTML CSS job. Yes. And the last option you have is like learn a tool like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, and just go and work as a WordPress developer, right? That is something which students are still confused. Like they just restrict themselves to that knowledge that yes, now I can go and work. But it's not the case right now. Like there's a lot of things happening in the tech hiring market, right? And coming back to this thing, that yes, you do not need a degree if you have your skills, if you have a project and you know how to showcase your project well. Apart from your CV, you can do that using a portfolio, build some amazing website. We are going to go through a lot of, you can say, I won't be able to cover a lot of websites, but we'll see how to create what basically inspirations of, you can see, some tech portfolios where you can see and how to build those. So that is also something I'll try to cover. We have time, I guess, till 10. Yes, it's almost half an hour, right? So moving on, I hope this was the correct slide. Yes. Yeah. So let's understand, right, what are a few do's and don'ts. There might be many, but this is some, you can say, something which I usually tell students to follow, and something which I think are very important ones. There might be others also, right? Not just telling. So in terms of, let's understand what all do's are there, right? So try to build something unique. Okay, when I say try to build something unique, if you just are copying, right, just are copying something from YouTube, something from Udemy, something from a blog, right? Netflix clone. I have seen a lot of people doing Netflix clone, Instagram clone. Okay. And they just directly copy paste that code into portfolio. Basically that just, I have built a Netflix clone. But you have to answer this question, boss. If someone is hiring you, someone is going to pay you, will you just look at that clone and hire you? Because everybody has built that. Everybody has built that Netflix clone. Everybody has built that Instagram or Spotify clone. So how are you going to impress that HR? Like, what is different in your project, right? Yes, I am going to come to that topic. If you see, right, it is in the do's third point, right? So when I say build something unique, yes, learning to build clones is a good way to start off with building projects. You learn to understand you like start learning to understand the complexity of, you can say, big projects, big scale applications. Yes, build clones, but make sure that you're adding some of, you can say, the features which are not already there in that app. You can just try building it so that something of your own you are adding. Like suppose a Netflix clone, but it has a playlist. I don't know if Netflix has, I don't think it has a playlist where you can just keep on adding, episodes, or not episode, you can just keep on adding shows and it goes on autoplay, right? Something like a Spotify playlist just integrated into Netflix, something which is not there in that app, right? Or something to remind you in notification that yes, this is your time to watch the show every day, or just keep a limit or something which is not there in the app. Try to build that. Okay, and you can basically mix two clones and create something unique of your own, and then add that into your portfolio. Do not just copy paste as it is from YouTube or some Udemy or some any course in your portfolio, right? So now your question would be, boss, then why did you create the thumbnail? Okay, why did you create the thumbnail that learn to build clones and everything? That was the sole reason, because I have seen a lot of students doing that. Everyone goes and build clones of some of the other big app and just puts it in their website, just changes the logo and everything. Understand that the tech recruiters already know, because they have seen this in thousands of resumes and of students and everyone. They know how it works, they know what students build. So you have to build something on your own, and you need to also know to explain. Okay, just building and just going won't make sense. You need to actually explain how you have approached that project, what you have built and all those stuff, right? Coming to the second point in the do's, that is CRUD plus API. So what do I mean here is, how many of you have built just a CRUD app? Just a CRUD app. CRUD basically means something like a to-do list, a shopping cart list, a shopping list. How many of you built a to-do list? Right? A lot of people. I know a lot of people. As a student, I also built it. But how many of you tried to integrate APIs into it? How many of you tried to fetch data from internet or some database like Firebase and then create it? Or any API, like some random API which uses CRUD operations. How many of you how many of you have done that? Right? So we have SHA, fetch in Android app. Yes. Right? So there are people, right? Yeah, weather app is okay. Weather app is not a CRUD application. That is just fetching. That is a get. When I say CRUD, right, it has to have all the you can say actions of create, read, update, and delete using API integrations. You can either use fetch or Axios or any of those, right? So that is something, right, that if you have done well and good, like I appreciate you guys for doing that. But majority of the students, what they do, they just create it in just a front end using JavaScript, or like just store it in local storage. That's it. And what happens is, when you go as front end developer, right, you'll start working with APIs. That is where you'll start, because the backend people already have their APIs. You need to learn how to integrate APIs, how to work with those, how to get data and show it on the web. This is front end. For backend, again, you need to know how to build APIs, secure it, and all the stuff, right? That is one thing. Just do not build simple apps. It actually does not make sense on your portfolio. Yes, for practice you can, right? So whatever I'm going to speak is just regarding what you can add on your portfolio. Okay, so do not feel bad that, boss, I build a to-do app, now what to do with that. For practice it is fine. I have also I started it, you can say, the development career building small to-do apps, so it's fair to do that. Now, one thing very important, that is start using Git and GitHub. Okay, start using Git and GitHub. That is very important. As a developer, you can be any of the domain. you should know how to use Git and GitHub. You should know source control. Okay, that is very important. And break us, and suppose you're working on some bigger project, so break it down into smaller tasks and commit it regularly to GitHub so that you can see what all things, like you have basically just divide into features and work on a single feature one by one and commit it regularly, right? That is one more thing. And the last do is, do not put your unhosted projects on portfolio. Okay, make sure you are hosting it. There are a lot of free hosting options. Heroku I don't think is paid anymore, but yeah, there is Vercel, there is Netlify, there is Hostinger I guess, yes, I don't know if it is free or something, but yeah, Netlify is there, GitHub Pages is there, and Vercel is there. Netlify, yes, is the best. I also have a few websites hosted there. Yeah, 000 web host is also there. A lot of free hosting websites are there. Just host your project there and put that link in your portfolio. If not, if you're not able to get domains, just put the hosted link, so that when you're presenting your resume to the HR, right, you can actually go through your portfolio and just click on the links and see the demo of that project or your portfolio, right? Portfolio should also be hosted. Okay, of course, I hope that would be like, that is common sense, that you understood, right? Only then that HR is going to be open to be able to open on his laptop. And the projects also should be hosted. How and to do that, how to structure your portfolio, everything we are going to see. Right now, don'ts is basically, do not add a lot of projects into your website. Small to-do ads, small wallpaper, weather applications, or a small program to randomize some number, or all that stuff. Do not add. That is not meant for your portfolio. That is meant for your personal projects and practice projects. And as I mentioned in the very first thing, do not use plain projects from tutorials. Do not use plain projects from tutorials. Learn something from a tutorial, add something of your own, modify something of your own, and then put in your portfolios, right? I hope this much is clear. Any doubts till now? Any doubts till now? Rahul, so Rahul is joining us from YouTube. He has asked, whenever I read job description, it goes like you should have knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, JS, SQL, etc. But if I know only HTML, CSS, JavaScript, is it okay to apply? See, it is always okay to apply, but I can't ensure you that you are going to get selected, because Node.js, SQL is required, right? So I'm pretty much sure they are hiring someone to work on both the things, front and back end. So I strongly suggest you to actually learn Node, you have already learned JS. Node shouldn't be that tricky part for you to learn. That is easy. If you know JS, Node is easy for you to learn, right? And SQL database, having a knowledge of database is very important as a developer. Even if you're not looking at job in database, but you should know how database works, the queries and all that stuff, the connections and everything, that you should know always. So please, if I have to advise it, I'll suggest that take a month's time out, learn these things, Node and SQL, the basics, build a few projects on that, then again go and reapply, and you should have higher chances of getting selected than before, of course, right? So in the Zoom, let's see if anybody has any questions. See, I won't say that any language is easy or any language is hard. Okay, so every language comes with its own easy things and complex things, right? See, PHP, you learn PHP, then you go to Laravel and all those stuff. So currently, I would suggest you guys to learn Node, not PHP. Okay, see, PHP is used, but in legacy applications or some old projects or something which is using that old technology. Currently, if you ask, I'll strongly suggest you guys to learn Node. Okay, if you know JavaScript, it is easy. How to build impactful project? I guess that is my next slide. So let's see what is there on the next slide. So I also don't know how the slides I have kept. Okay, yeah. So the next few minutes, let's focus on the screen and just understand how to build a developer portfolio, right? So see, now basically you can start off your portfolio by writing your name, your photo. Photo is optional again, right? The photo is optional, but the main thing is you should have your name, your current, like what are your skills basically, in short, basically, like if I have to write, right, I'm Prasad, co-founder at Let's Upgrade, you can say hash, software developer, something like that, in just one line, whatever you can fit, a bold heading of your name or something, right? And a few links here and there. You can lay out, I'll show you a few examples, then you'll get an idea what I'm talking about. Then you come down below and you give a description about yourself, right? What you do, what all things are your, you can say, I'm not getting the word. You are basically proficient in, basically I'm not getting the word. You're like your skills which you have, the best skills which you have, just to showcase it. One thing which I have to mention here is, you need not mention everything you know on the portfolio. Right? So I have seen a lot of people that even they write, PHP, they write VS Code, Android Studio, or Anaconda for people in Python. They Sublime Text. These are all tools. You need not write them on your portfolio, because if you're a developer, if you know your programming, it is by default understood that you know how to use a code editor. Like if you are working in Android, we know that you know how to use Xcode or Android Studio, right? I've seen a lot of people fill a lot of things, like just to make it look like heavy, like a lot of content. They just put everything they know here and there, which is the wrong thing, right? Now, just let's go on the right side. Yes. Moving on to the right side, just let's go and do these things first. Okay. The last 3 points from here. Since I am on like mentioning about yourself and your own description, mention about yourself very crisp and clear. Do not write long paragraphs, because I've seen a lot of people writing a long like huge paragraphs in the portfolio about like, okay, so this is me, I have been working like in this particular organization for past this many years, this is where I started my career and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. To be honest, HR is not going to read that whole story. What you can optionally do is write a short description and give an option to HR to just go and read the longer version of that same story or the description. If you want, if he's interested to know more about it, you can just go and read the longer version, where you can write your heart out of whatever you want to, explain that HR about yourself, right? And as I mentioned in the initial part, that mention your skills upfront very clearly. When I see that upfront very clearly, see, suppose for Python or data science people or Android, I have seen that people use this thing. They use the circular part. They just use that range. I know HTML 10 out of 100, or I know HTML 70% out of 100. But what is 70%? Right? What is 70% according to you? If I tell you guys just go and create an accordion just using HTML, half of the people would be confused, right? How does that even work? How can I create accordion without using JavaScript or without using CSS? Right? So what does the 70% mean? That is confusing. So do not try to avoid that. So I particularly strongly suggest do not use range or circular rings, and make sure that you have a contact form in your portfolio, right? Where an HR, of course, because you need the HR to contact you. If your portfolio or if your skill set are that amazing that yes, and your projects also speak a lot about you, the HR might directly go and contact you. So always have a contact me form, which can be easily just have a email option, just mail to, or if you know the backend programming, just collect the data and send yourself. Anything you can do behind that. Coming to the left side, now speaking about the project section, right? When you come to the project section, do not overclutter your projects. Do not overclutter your projects on the tech, you can say, portfolio. I suggest use only those projects which you actually want to showcase to the HR. As I mentioned, right, you might have built a lot of short projects, which of course do not need to necessarily go on the portfolio website. You can just segregate out what are the best projects which can be put for show, where even everyone on the web or the HRs can go and see. Just select a few projects, maybe you can say 5 or 6 which you have, and just put them. Now, how do you present your projects? See, first thing, as I mentioned, right, you should host them. That is very important. Second, suppose if I am building a Netflix, so I can Netflix clone, for example, okay, just putting Netflix clone. I said that do not do that. Just for example, I'm taking, if I just put Netflix clone using Mern stack, so what I'll do is I'll just mention the title, Netflix clone. Below that, I'm going to mention what all technologies I have built it. using what basically what all technologies I have used to build it, like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, not Bootstrap, of course, Tailwind or Bulma or any of the frameworks. I'll just write those there, hashtag or any of the way you can use. You can use tags or a hashtag, for example. For backend, if I've used Node, so I'll just write Node, MongoDB, Express. Just mention everything, all the technologies which has gone into the building of that website. Right below that, I'm going to use the purpose, write the purpose basically. Boss, why did I actually go and approach building this website or this project basically? And then a short description basically, right? And then screenshots of my app or my website, right? Or the project which I am basically talking about. So a few screenshots and then a working link. So you can use screenshots, you can use videos, like video bits of your working website, and then also have you can say visit website or explore button where a HR can go and click and go to that website, which is hosted, of course. Right. So this is basically the structure, the basic which we suggest. Should have the name, the technologies used, the description about that, right? And then you can have a link. Now usually if you have bigger projects, right, which has a lot of content, you want to write a lot about content. So the same thing which we did with the description part of your personal information, we do with the projects, right? So another way, if you want to explain, document the project very nicely for the HR, what you can do is you can have the project, put a few screenshots here and there, and then go and click, right, read more or know more. It basically opens a separate page where the project details are laid out in detail, right? Like project purpose, how it can be used, what all technologies are going to be used in this project, what idea and thought went behind this building of that project, and the link. So a separate page, like our own page, right, of that particular one project, and you can have the same for other projects. So there are a few approaches. One is if it has very short description, just lay out on the home page directly. If not, create separate pages for it, which then link them then to the demo of that project, right? I hope this is clear. Now coming to the things, right, what all you can say projects not to include. Like we saw what projects to include. Now let's see what projects not to include. So as I mentioned, right, not every project has like needs to go on your portfolio, right? Not every project needs to go on your portfolio. Basically, what all this is basically like we have already seen a lot of this before. So any of the projects which are already being used, like you can say, which you have directly copy pasted from a tutorial, just saw the, like you have seen the video and like developed it, do not add that into your portfolio directly. Make some changes and add. Second, projects which are not related to software development. Like suppose you have been working as a market. This is just some random example. Suppose you have been working as a digital ad, you are working in a digital ad agency as some marketing person, and now you want to switch your career to web development, right? So now when you're creating your portfolio and you're looking for a web developer job, you're not going to include that marketing project which you have basically built, right? If you are actually applying for a core developer job, that marketing ad and everything which you have done does not need to be there on your portfolio. It can be there in the later section. You can say my previous achieve learnings and skills and everything, a different section down below, right, which are developed, which are HR, if he wants to or she wants to, just can go and read, right? But it need not be the showcase on the front showcase of your portfolio, right? Second important thing, that third important thing basically is some confidential work. So many of the times, right, what students do is, if they're working as an intern at an internship with some company on some project which is just, you can say, a confidential thing to that particular company, they go and put that on your portfolio, like, yes, I have built this things, right? You should not do that. If you're planning to put something of that nature on your website, make sure you have your proper permissions, right? That is one thing which you need to follow. And the last thing, very important, do not mention your portfolio website in a portfolio, right? That is, I hope everyone knows the joke of recursion, right? Just don't let HR go in your portfolio. He'll just open visit website, then in your portfolio again, go in your portfolio project and keep roaming here and there. Okay, this is not what actually the HR would do, but still, do not mention your portfolio site in the portfolio as a project. Okay, you have made the portfolio, the developer knows you have made it. If you have even not coded it, you have just copied someone from Wills, it's fine. Do not add that as a project to your portfolio. I hope I am very clear, right? So just see. Okay, so I hope the students on YouTube are chatting there. Right. So let's move ahead. Now, what projects to include? Okay, again, what projects to include? The nature of the project you guys were asking, right? What all, how to build an impactful project? What kind of projects to my should be a part of my portfolio? You have to just answer three things to your and if it answers any one of those, your project is as good as you can say to be on your portfolio. First is, did you actually build a project to solve some specific problem? Okay, like basically employees love to hear about project like this, that if you are building something that actually goes and solves some real world problems. Like suppose, like if you guys have some chai wala, your favorite chai wala outside your college or your workplace, you just help him with some app or some tool which simplifies his work or his day-to-day things. If you have built something like which helps him, of course you can proudly present it on your portfolio. And rather than just having the code or some GitHub source code link, you can always have a live project. That is, you can say the second requirement, your web project should be live. Third, if you have not started with open source contributions, go and start using doing open source contributions, which you can also include your portfolio. So anything where you have contribute to open source, basically what open source is, projects where everyone can go and contribute. So it can be in terms of coding, like if you solve some bugs, right? If you help them with documentation, if you build some features for them, just a random, you can say voluntary contribution. And if you're lucky enough, your contribution might just get included in the software, right? So, and yes, make sure that if you're getting a chance to contribute in open source, do that and just mention that in your portfolio as well. Yes, so Deep has one question, only unique projects on portfolio, right? Yes, unique projects. How many projects? Something, I guess this slides answers your question. How many projects on portfolio? At least 2, not more than 5. Do not overcrowd your portfolio website, right? Do not overcrowd it. A minimum of 2 and 5, maximum of 5. Now, a very important thing, rather than having 5 small projects, have one bigger project, which kind of, goes through all those concepts or all those features which you have in the small 5 projects, builds a proper one, a good project, and showcases on the portfolio, right? In the last point is very important. Portfolios are meant to highlight your best work. Okay, when I say highlight, it just means a selective projects. It does not have to showcase everything that you have on the website. Okay, just make sure that it just highlights a few best projects which you have built, right? And yes, this is very important. This is very important. Now, a lot of questions would be coming, sir. I do not know how to make my own website that good. Okay, so is my portfolio going to be the best? The answer is any developer. Okay, this is something I am saying in public, right, on YouTube. It can be any developer, and I am just saying this on YouTube directly. It's because I also, as a developer, there's this thing. We still use, you can say, we still use what we say, Google, right? So projects and website templates are already out there. Why do you even learn coding, right? If you ask, why do you even learn coding, is just for that one reason, that you need to understand how that code works, right? You need to know how technology works, and that is one of the things, right? So if even if you don't know, right, how to code, and you can just copy, right, just to get started. Okay, this is not something I say you just copy and go with your portfolios. Just to know how portfolios look like, just copy paste someone's portfolio, put your things in that portfolio, see how it looks, try to replicate it on your own, and coding and all that stuff, right? And then start learning and how to enhance and all those stuff, add your own projects here and there, right? And see, your first iteration of the website or your portfolio is not going to be the best. Okay, so always understand that you will eventually make your portfolio best. So when you start off as a developer, even your projects would be basic. right? Even your achievements would be basic when you're applying as a fresher. But 5 years down the line, you will not be just a basic normal fresher web developer or a data scientist or a cloud guy or an app developer, right? In that 5 years, you will gain a lot of experience. You will come and redo the portfolio, you will make enhancement, you will add some amazing stuff in there, and your portfolio will start looking better over the years, right? So it need not be the best, so it over eventually will become the best. Nowadays chat gpt is there to help more than Google. See, yes, it is there, but let's see till how many days it is actually going to be there as free. So since until it's free, you can just have the fun and use it, and yeah, maybe just ask them like how to make life easier to chat gpt, and it even tell that to us, right? So Google is going to be there. We know that Stack Overflow is going to be there, right? Chat GPT, yes, I love it. I also use it to just solve my daily problems where I get stuck, right? I go to Chat GPT also. Let's see till how many more months or years it is going to be around for free, of course, right? So, but Google and Stack Overflow always free, right? Those are the, you can say, the legacy colleagues of a developer. So it will always be, you can say, the best friends of a developer, Stack Overflow and Google, right? So yeah, moving ahead. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are going to check a few portfolios. So let's go and do that. So see, as I mentioned, right, Google, the friend of developers, I'm just going to write top web, top. I also do not remember whom. Let's see who all we can review. So next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll just do a review. And whatever we learned in today's session, right? So I have a few slides where I'm going to talk about the web development, data science, and all those domains which is there. So this is, I guess, in the last session I showed. So just I'll open this also first. Let's see what are new things are there. Okay, so there is one website which I need to show you, and you'll be like, I don't know. Yes, this. How many of you have been through his website? I'll come there. I'll show that in a bit. Okay, so see, now this guy has not changed it, and this is something bad. Okay, I don't know why his website is still there. This is a bad thing to have. So now let's go down. But if you see, right, how he has mentioned it, of his full name, design plus developer, and then everything would be below, I hope, right? So now let's go and see one more. I hope at least this works. Yes, it is working. And meanwhile, I also let the JavaScript, one of my favorite websites in portfolios. Okay, so it will take time to load. Okay, his website is working. It's not like it's not working. It will take time to load. And yes, let's see. This is fine. Wanted to show you a few. Yes, this. Okay, now let's go to these three. Now see what we have learned, right? Very simple. At the start of your portfolio, write your name and what you do in very crisp and clear names, right? See, and he has mentioned in just three sentences what he does. He has mentioned about his contact details, like how you can reach out to him, go on Google. You can just see his resume here. Just go to the contact directly, and let's go and see up his projects. So this is about me, where she has mentioned about a photo is there, optional. Again, if you want, you can put it about herself, right, in detail, because it was just a description. Then what all technologies does she working, very upfront. Okay, I know these technologies. Okay, then where she has worked at companies and what positions, everything there. Now see, right, as we learned, right, what she has worked or built upon, right, a screenshot of how it looks. This is basically an extension, I guess. Yes, a theme project of VS Code. So an extension, how it does look, right? Where all you can get it and what all things it is available on the source code and the, you can say, a different page, hosted page of that project. Okay, I hope. Yes, I'll open yours as well. Let me just keep it in the browser. I'll just open. I don't know, it does not allow me to copy paste or what. Okay, no worries, I'll open it, don't worry. Right, so you see, right, they have a separate page where they have mentioned about that project, which is included in that thing, right? Similarly, another project and another project and another project. So build a netlist Spotify connected app. So this is not Spotify, this is a Spotify connected app. Okay, so basically it would be internal Spotify only, because it would be using Spotify auth and APIs. So, and yes, other, see, now here is where she have mentioned all the other things, but you won't see something like to do or something here, right? So see, clones and everything can go in other things, but she has only chosen a few remarkable, you can say, portfolios portfolios worthy projects to showcase on the top, right? And then just to go, let's go and see Jack's projects. Okay, so let me just see what this guy has made. This is someone, yeah, so I'll come to the students portfolio. Okay, Vinod Dayalan, just send me a clickable link, no Vinod. So I'm not able to copy paste, I don't want to write it. Just send me a clickable link and I'll open it from Zoom, right? Now see, this is one more. See the small interactions, right? Micro interactions. I'm moving my mouse and it is animating. And if you see, right, small things are there. Hi, I am Jack, a web developer. His small intro, and this is basically an ad which you should not do on your portfolio. Do not put your ads, right? Then my portfolio. Then what all things he has worked upon, right? You can see view project. Just go on the project and it will open another thing where he has written about the projects, right? And about himself, what all technologies he works upon. Do not put ads, okay? This is something bad. And this is his blogs, I guess, and so on. And a contact form, of course, right? So this is one more. And yes, one of those which I wanted to show you, right? Something built with JavaScript and a 3D library in JavaScript. Jack Simon, right? If I click on start, basically a car should appear. It is a heavy website, okay? And basically a car should appear. Okay, you guys can go and check his website. It might take, yes, since Zoom and everything is on at the same time, it is slow. So this is the website. This is actually the website, okay? This is the portfolio website. See, Bruno Simon Creative Dev. So if I go with something like this to my HR, there is no point is going to go and reject me. So I can learn everything about Bron Simon in his website, using his projects and all this. I just have to navigate through his website and I'll go to sections where he wants me to, like projects. If I go on projects, right, let's go to the project sections. So see, these are his projects. 3JS journey, the JavaScript library where he has worked. So he's basically built 3JS, I guess. He's a CEO, developer, formatter. And then he has Madbox. This is his projects, right? For a user, it is amazing, right? Just similarly, you can just go through all of those projects and let's go and see a few which our students have built from learning from our courses. This is like just a template, right? This won't be a portfolio. This can be a part of a portfolio website. And I guess you have used some kind of framework here. I believe so. Oh, no, you have built by your own, I guess. The layouts and everything is fine, but it can be a part of your, you can say, portfolio website. And yes, this is something nice. This is something new, right? About him, where you can go and reach him, and you can just add your projects which you have done prior down, and that can also be a part of your portfolio. Okay. So I hope you get ideas, and if you want the links, right, I'll just give this in the chat. If you guys want to go and search, this is one more for your reference. Just save it for later use. And yes, so any doubts till now, guys? Any doubts till now before we move on to the domains? See, you will only learn by looking at others projects. Yes, so it's okay to take references, it's okay to refer to other people's work, right? Try to learn what all things are included there, right? Now second thing is, so now you have a work, now you have the portfolio, right? Now what all domains should you, like landing your first tech job, okay, landing your first tech job. So what are domains are currently out there which are trending, and what all other options are also there, right? So I personally love web development, so web development goes first for me. Then there's data science, app development, cloud, cybersecurity, blockchain, Web3, and a lot of stuff is there, right? So the easiest way currently, if you want, if you already are into web development, if you want to get started very easily, you should know front end at least, right? So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, one of the frameworks, React basically, and some CSS, you can say framework as well, Bulma, Bootstrap, or Material UI, or Tailwind CSS, anyone, because if you know one, you can easily learn another. Data science, again, data science, machine learning algorithms, good understanding of visualization, Tableau as a tool, a database, SQL, Postgres, any of those database. Python should be very clear. App development, Flutter, you can go for Flutter, you can go for Kotlin, right? If you are a web developer and also want to go into app development, React is there, you can go to React Native, right? Cloud, you have Azure, GCP, AWS, and then you have the CI/CD pipelines, and basically how you can scale apps, how you can monitor those, all those stuff, right? Now going to the things, right? How we can help you is basically understanding. Okay, so one person is I'll show you guys it. So one person is looking there. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah, so sorry for that, guys. So our CEO was here. They're just calling me for dinner. It's already late, right? So I won't take much of your time, right? Hey, hi, Akilu. So how we can help, right? How Let's Upgrade can help, as I mentioned, right? We also have a lot of programs for free. Let me just take you to a tour of our website and show you actually, right? I'm just talking, I was just seeing the YouTube. Yes. So I hope my YouTube screen is not now visible to you guys. Yep. So are you guys able to see my YouTube screen? Are you guys able to see my YouTube screen? Just give me a confirmation, guys. I'm not actually able to see what screen is actually visible. Yes. Okay. So now see, if you go on to Let's Upgrade's platform, right? If you just go on to Let's Upgrade platform, you'll see a lot of programs, right? Where you can get started with for your technical career, right? So just scroll down, or you can just go to the program section. So these two are the full stack programs, web development and data science, which are basically job guarantee programs. When I say job guarantee, right? As I mentioned in the initial start, you just, anywhere you go, you just don't pay money and get the job. You have to learn, you have to build projects, because as I mentioned, those are important. You have to have skills. What do we provide from our end into this two full stack paid program? These are basically paid program, and this is basically going to be the monthly cost for you guys for the next 12 months, right? The program is 6 months, but you have the option to pay your fees in 12 months. So by the end of the 6th month, if you have a job, you can basically easily pay off your fees, right? And that is possible. I'll show you how, right? If you go in web development, right, there are a few things which we do from our end to make sure that you as a software developer get the best training, get to build the best projects, right? First of all, it is completely live, that you learn 100% live. and you can basically talk to the trainer, ask your queries, get it solved right there. You learn cutting edge technologies, nothing outdated, because it's life. So we do not teach any outdated stuff. You get one-on-one mentoring every week. So every week you have to spend half an hour with our team, but they can understand how your progress is, what all things we need to work upon you. Various assessment projects, module and exams are there to assess you at every step and to show where you're standing, where you need help, where you need to work upon more and work hard, so that you need to cope up with the progress, and so that you get job very easily, right? And of course you have recordings of the things to watch later. In case you miss any sessions, you have the recordings with you, right? So we start this program every Saturday. So every Saturday one batch launch happens. Why every Saturday? A limited student capacity, 15 to 20 per batch, right? So every batch has just limited students, so that our trainers can cater to them equally and talk to them and understand their requirement and teach them accordingly. You get a certificate by NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, right? ITM Group, ITM Edutech Training Private Limited, LetsUpgrade, and Skill India. So a government authorized certificate, right? So these are few of the previous placements. So you can see, right, a lot of variety from 4.5 to 25 to 8 to 10, right? It all depends, because everyone has gone through the same course. It also depends on what all thing, how much you are, investing yourself into this program, how much you are also giving. So our team is always there to help you out. You will have groups to interact, to talk with your peer mates. You will learn all of those things. See, we'll teach you to build clones. We'll teach you to build admin dashboards. So when we say clones, right, we are not going to build exact Flipkart. So as I mentioned, something to add of your own, something features which you have to add, right? So all those will be there, of course. And you will have at the end, see, I prefer material UI. I don't go for Chakra UI, I go for material UI. Okay. And just to see how our learning platform looks, right? This is just a screenshot, and I hope, yes. So this is how our learning platform basically looks like. So you have interactive doubt sessions, a place where you can see your resources used by the trainer directly, talk to them, ask your doubts, have fun, talk to your patch mates right there in the chat, like a WhatsApp basically group, right? So all those things are there, and all the trainers are, you can say, experienced people from the industry. One thing which you get at Let's Upgrade is we do not have any coaching professors with us. All the people who are going to train you, are going to teach you, are developers from industry, so they know what they are working on. So you will always learn that something which is up to date and which is, you can say, currently required in the market, right? That is there. So if you guys, and similarly we have one more for data science also. So let me just go back to the home page. Okay, so we have a similar program for data science also. Okay, so if you want to join this program, you can just go and apply for this program. Just go and enroll that. So you have no cost EMI options. You can pay in full. If you already have LU coins, you can use those for the same. If you want to know more, if you want to talk to me or my team, right, just fill the application and let us know that you are looking for this program, or you want to know more about this, or how you can shape up your career as a developer, and we'll surely get back to you on a call and see what best we can offer, or how we can actually give you the help you're requiring, right? And other than that, if you're just looking for free courses to get started, you can just head out the essentials program and just enroll into any of the free programs. Every week we have 1 or 2 programs going live on YouTube, and I guess that should be it. What is the price in the dollar? Hey, hi Mohammed Tawfiq. So price in the dollar, let's, I don't know, so just do, see the price. Okay, the price is 36,600, but currently we are having a discount going on, so that would give you a 7,000 off. Someone who is joining from this session, right? And we know that, yes, this email ID is there in the session, so you will get a 7,000 off. So the price for you would be 29,600, which is a special price for only students who are part of this program. So if the mods, right, who are in this, just can help me with the form. Still lost the form. So if you guys want to actually go and talk to me, right, just help me filling this form, and I should be able to talk to you, or someone from my team will actually call you up and talk about this program. So let me just copy link, and where's the chat option? Yeah, So this is the form link, and you can just any query regarding the program, or you want to know more how you can shape up your career with this program, just let us know in this, and then we can take it ahead from here. Any queries, guys? Any queries? Anything that you would like to ask? Anything that you would like to ask? In the chat, guys, anything that you would like to ask? What is the roadmap for full stack Java developer? So see the roadmap for full stack Java developer, right? You start off with core Java, right? You start off with core Java, you learn advanced topics like collection lists and generics and all that stuff. Then you go on to learning like database connections. SQL is there, you learn JDBC, right? Then you learn using Hibernate frameworks. Okay. So you use basically once you learn JDBC, that is the hard way. Then you can use Hibernate framework. Then you go and learn about Spring Boot, right? Those are frameworks, and then you learn basically in Spring Boot, Spring MVC, you learn about the architecture, MVC architecture, and I guess that basically should be the whole stack. Database, you can use database, any of the database, or if you want to add a front end to that Java full stack, you can use React. So Java, advanced Java in like JDBC, Hibernate, Spring Boot, and then you have React for front end, and you have a database, any of the database. That should be a full stack in Java. And yes, for API documentation, you have Swagger, and I guess that should be fine for Java. And anything additional you want to learn, like you can say multi-threading, streaming. The stream API is also there in Java. You can also learn that. See, in any technology, right? Yes, there are going to be a lot of things which you can learn. James, just go and fill the form, and I should be able to connect with you. Rahil, just let me know if you want to join this program, and we can actually take it ahead. I guess you're already in talks with one of my coordinators, right? So if you're looking to join this program, please let us know. Yeah, please fill the form, James, and I'll make sure I connect with you. If you asked for full stack, right? So I just shared you about Java full stack. See, full stack is nothing but there are three things: a front end, a back end, and a database, right? You can switch anything anywhere. There is no Java database. Java front end was there very prior, like Java server pages. Currently, there is no Java server pages. There is React for front end. And second thing, for the backend, right? There you build everything in Java, right? Like the Spring Boot, Hibernate, and all that stuff. Hi, tech coders. I am fine. How about you? Okay. So I have put the form. I have put the links, I guess, right, in the above. Someone can just copy paste. And you will have this recording on YouTube, so you can just go again and go through those. You can just go see, there is nothing like a particular portfolios which I look through. Just go and Google out, and you will find a lot of portfolios out there. Okay, so I hope we can end today's session here. Thank you everyone for joining, and any queries you have, just let us know. We can talk about it, right? I hope it was an informative session for you guys, and you learned, and I hope a lot of you would be implementing those in your portfolios. See, if you don't know how to build a portfolio, use a tool. It's fine for learning purpose, use a tool. And if you know how to code, try building your portfolio and eventually upgrade it. If you need help from us, our free programs are there, which will actually give you the kickstart. If you want our help in learning the whole full stack development, our paid programs are there, which are currently the least in the market, like priced. you can take the benefit of it, right? Since yeah, it might go a price revamp in the upcoming months, and it will go a price revamp in upcoming months. So in meanwhile, if you can take the benefit, you do that, right? So that's there. I guess that should be all for today. Thank you everyone for being a part of this. And yeah, it's already time for dinner. And yeah, bye bye, good night. I'll see you and maybe next week or someday later, right? Bye bye. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. I hope. Thank you so much guys, thank you so much.